Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Hello, 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 everybody. This is
I like your curly hair, Brooke.
thank you. Uh, Pouring rain here today, so there was no chance of it being any other way. Hello and welcome all. Happy almost Christmas. How are we feeling? Type a little word in, like one word feeling in the chat. How are we doing? Are we excited about life? Are we overwhelmed about our businesses? Are we feeling inspired? How are we feeling? Tired. Okay. Exhausted. Oh my gosh. What a great start. I love the honesty. Keep it coming. Let me know. Just a one word quick thing. How you're doing, how you're feeling. That's all we have. Oh, tired and exhausted. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That gives me a really good idea of where we're at. Thanks, guys. And so, oh no, oh no, Liz, you lost power. Okay, well, I'm laughing hysterically because you guys know this is just how life goes, right? It just has to keep going on even when we're tired and exhausted. And that's not to say that we need to push through the tired and the exhausted and the things that aren't working, but that we just need to like find a little bit of joy in that. So with that, let's get into some things that will hopefully help us feel inspired and aligned and ready to take action when we're ready. If you got, it sounds like you all could really use a break, and so I hope you're gonna take a good break over Christmas. From that, it seems like we shouldn't have a call next week. I was gonna ask you guys if you wanted to have a call next week, but we can discuss. Our The last thing that I'm going to ask of you is that you upload your images for the family, the model families, preferably as soon as you can. This week would be ideal and amazing. You guys know that because so much of the shoots was me focusing on your learning and practice, which I was so excited about. That means I'm leaning more heavily on you to deliver the images that you took to the families. And so I'm going to send you an email right after we hop off with the Dropbox instructions if you want to do it that way, or if it's easier for you to just send your own galleries, that is fine as well. Via Pixieset or PicTime or whatever you use, that's fine too, just whatever's easier. But Dropbox is already set up for you if you just want to upload all in one fell swoop, then that works too. So all the instructions will be in the email that I'm going to send you, as well as my galleries for each of the families that you can see what I got during the retreat. So I want to start with introducing our friend Rosie. Oh my goodness, we got Rosie in the house, yo! Hi. So Rosie, do you mind? I'm gonna just have you unmute and just introduce yourself. I'm gonna ask you a million questions for everyone, but just
Okay.
tell us like a little bit about you, where you're based. Tell us what's going on in your business world, what your hopes and dreams are for this time in that we get to share in space with you. And then we'll get to ask the fun stuff.
Okay. It's just so crazy right now because I don't know if Brooke told you, but I guess the reason
I
why we're
did.
gonna go to she did. Okay. She did.
But you can tell too. Tell your side of the
Oh
story.
yeah. So I'm 12 weeks today. I'm pregnant with twins, and these are my second set of twins. I have three other kids. And my life has been a little derailed. So it's just part of my business journey right now because everything has been derailed. I've been really sick. So unfortunately, I've had to cancel all these sessions, and that's been super hard. So that's what's going on in my business world right now. Like I had a session on Sunday. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about me. My name is Rosie Levin, And my photography name is Rasha Rosa Photography, which is my full name is Rasha Rosa. I specialize in newborn shoots, is what I really love, lifestyle newborn shoots. And the reason why I love that so much is because I really wanted to, especially after the twins, I had a photo shoot with my twins, and it was super hard getting everyone out and everyone there. And I really wanted to bring it home, and I really wanted that feeling of home and connection and intimacy that happens at home. And a lot of people who have newborns also have little ones, and they're super hard. And what I really love to take pictures of is just like those authentic moments, like the times when the little toddler's like pushing their baby off the bed, like just like like, and the stuff that really reminds you of who your kids are. Like, yes, you want them looking beautiful for at least a couple of pictures, but just really like that time and space in life. And every photo shoot is really that. It's and what I love about home shoots is that, because every home keeps changing and every dynamic keeps changing, and you know, the people keep changing, and then kids, as we all know, they shift so much every moment. They're just different. And your relationship is different. So, okay, there's me and my little spiel. But I really love that. I joined this group hoping to like get more comfortable with families, because I really liked having this newborn prop, which I tended to lean into. I leaned into that, and I leaned into just those moments. Like, even though I would say it's more lifestyle because I'm posing them and I'm putting them somewhere and I'm putting them in light and all of that, and it's not purely documentary, but I kind of often wait for the inspiration in the moment. And I think um it definitely helps to have less anxiety when you don't have to wait for that, and when you're really creating that and really knowing what you want. And that's what I really wanted.
Yeah.
Right now my business is a little crazy because
Yeah.
I don't know what's
Yep.
going to happen,
Yep.
but it's a bummer, because I would have had four in the last 2 weeks. I would have had at least four newborn shoots. I've had to turn people away, and like
Yeah.
I finally got in a place in my business where that's what's happening, and that's what I was waiting
Yeah.
for people reaching out to me and then wanting what I had to offer.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm bummed, but
Yeah. Totally. Of course. Of course. And yeah, I'm so glad that we get to be here with you and for you in that, because it is not easy. And um, it just reminds me of the group that I coached. Our retreat was February 2020. So right when we got home, COVID hit. And so our whole mastermind was during COVID. And we were just grappling with the same question. What are we gonna do? How
right.
are we gonna do this? And so that's the place that you're in. And I hope that and before you hopped on, Rosie, I was just having everybody type one word in the chat of how they're feeling, and literally every single person was like tired, exhausted, just like,
Right.
oh my gosh, nothing's working. And so I think this is a wonderful place to be, and a very delicious place to be, if we can allow if we can allow it in. And I know that might just sound like you want to punch me in the face right now, which it's
Well,
totally fine.
the reason
But
why I'm here is because I'm actually well enough to sit here. Otherwise, I wasn't around because I
yeah, yeah, yeah. And and I'm encouraging everyone to take breaks whenever and however long you need. Um, and we're gonna, find some ways to create some sustainability in all of our businesses so that we can weather these kinds of events and storms. I mean, none of us are exempt from this kind of life stuff. And so I think it's more important than ever to address that in our businesses, but to do it in a way that's not frantic, and in a way that really supports us over the long haul. So, Rosie, welcome. Let's all
thank
just like
you.
give a little Zoom wave to Rosie, and then
Thank you.
I'd love to have each of you just go around and say your names, and then Rosie, I'll have you like, if and when you're feeling up to it, you can do a little intro post in the Facebook group, and you can check out everybody's intro posts in there that they've done, and we got time. We
I
got
don't even know if
time.
I'm on this Facebook group. I requested it, but I don't know.
You're in there. Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Did you let me know if you're having trouble, but you are in there. So
What's up?
I'm gonna just go around my Zoom screen. So it's gonna be Kelly, Natalie, Natasha, Michelle, Erica, then Liz. So just say like, hey, your name, where you're from, and what you mostly shoot.
Hey, Rosie. I'm Kelly White. I live in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I shoot newborns pretty much almost primarily in-home newborns too.
Cool, cool.
And I'm Natalie. I'm in Pensacola, Florida, and I'm primarily a birth photographer, but along with that comes maternity and families and newborns. So I do a lot of that as well.
And I'm Natasha, and I'm based in North Carolina, Pinehurst, North Carolina, and Washington, D.C. And I mainly shoot in-home newborns, but do some in-home families as well.
Hi, Michelle. Up until now, I've mostly done families, but more like outdoor settings, and I'm wanting to get into like the in-home space. So that's where I'm at.
I'm Erica. We just moved to Hawaii and I am transitioning.
Yeah, you did. Like just literally like last week, right?
Not even a week ago. Yeah. Transitioning from weddings to family.
Hi, I'm Liz. I hope you guys can hear me because
Yeah,
I don't know
good.
what's going on. Okay, good. I live in Ojai, California, and I am normally a videographer, and I'm sort of learning the photography side because I'm adding that to my business. So yeah, families, small families is what we discovered on retreat. I don't want your big families. Don't come at me with all your children.
One
So,
child.
anyway,
That's it.
one child. Yeah.
I love it. And then you'll meet Maggie and MJ. There are other two. You'll meet them either on recordings or the Facebook group or future calls. So, so the way that Rosie, we're just so glad to have you, and we're gonna like harass you much more.
I'm so
many
happy
more
to have
times.
met you all. I was so bummed not to go to the retreat. That week I ended up in the ER, so I was like, okay, I'm not meant to
Aw.
be here.
It was
But
meant to be then.
I really
Yeah.
wish I could have met you all in person. But I'm happy to be here now, and I'm just going to take whatever I can.
Oh,
Right now.
girl.
Oh,
This
I
could
live
be
in
drinking from a fire
Florida.
hose.
I live right near Miami.
Oh,
That's
cool.
where I live. So
Nice.
just
Nice.
for reference.
Cool. Awesome. So the way that today is going to be, you all, is that I'm envisioning we will chat more about your freebies that you've been creating, and any questions that are coming up on that, and then any questions or sticking points or just like things you want to process through about your projects as they're coming up. And again, if you're like, I just really don't have the mental capacity to do either of those things right now, the blessing of it, I want to just leave us with this before we dive into all that. The blessing of a 100% break is something that I think is very underrated in our current society. And I told you guys at the retreat that I do this with my cycle. So when I am bleeding, then I don't do anything. I do nothing, like no things. And so, but even if you don't have a cycle right now for whatever reason, you can do this even just when you're feeling tired. And even just, it can be as micro as you want. It can even just be 2 hours where you're like, okay, the next 2 hours is 100% break. And I find that for me, when I realize like, oh, I need a break, then it shows me and spotlights how much I think about certain things, especially like business or photography or things like that. And then I can just remind myself, nope, I'm having a break from right now. And then it's so amazing to give yourself 100% in whatever time that is, because most of us are just multitasking and trying to do too much at once. So that's what I wanted to leave with you with right there. Now, hit me up with your questions or just sticking points or feedback on that you would like to have on either images, your freebie, or your project.
I got a question about the freebie.
Yes.
I've been working on that. I posted some in the Facebook group. I
Yes.
think I'm gonna go with like an Instagram stories template. And
Love
it has like a pack of 3 for Christmas, and then I'll just change that to newborn, like birth
Mhm.
announcement thing after. My question is, how do I get that to people? Like, I've made it in Canva. It's a link that I can share. You guys are, I saw like Michelle, you put yours in your website. That's where I'm losing. I'm getting confused, is like, how do I deliver this in a way that's automatic and get them signed up to something?
What's your website host?
Oh gosh,
WordPress?
show it.
Show it. Okay.
Yeah.
Show it should have it does have a way. There are several ways to do it. So what's your email provider?
Gmail.
Gmail.
Yeah.
Meaning your people are signing up via Gmail?
Well, like, I don't have a newsletter or sign up. I have a website and
So
I
we
have
need
my
to do that.
email. It's like, you have like I have like a contact form
Yes.
on my website, and it just sends everything to my kellywhitephoto@gmail.com.
Yes. So that's just your contact form. We need to get you with an email backend host plugin thing. So Flowdesk is really great. People have had really great experiences with Flowdesk, and I definitely recommend Flowdesk. Or you can use MailChimp. MailChimp is free up to like 10,000 subscribers or something. So you won't need to worry about that for a while. And so I would choose between those two. Or let's see.
Still though, like, how do I get that set up with
So once you have
integrated?
so once you have one of those, it's
Uh-huh.
going to be much simpler because what you're gonna do is create the email from that portal. Whether it's Flowdesk or MailChimp, you're gonna create the email that's like, welcome to Kelly. And that's gonna have most likely it's gonna just be a link to the Canva thing. I think that's what others have done with Canva, is just a link.
So how do I do that? Like with a space on my website or a space that I share on Instagram where people.
You're gonna create the page in Show It. So have you created any pages in Show It extra beyond?
Yes, I have, and it's very non-user friendly to me. So I get like almost no business from my website. So just like.
Okay, so let me, because I also have Show It. So I think the best thing to do is just going to be to duplicate a current page that you have.
Okay.
And so you guys, when you are creating and I mean, there's a couple ways to do it too. You could do hellobar.com that just makes a little bar on the top of your website and overrides, like it's going to just put it there no matter what. And so that might be just the easiest sort of done is better than perfect in the meantime solution before you, if you don't want to bother with making a page. But what I would do is make a page that's a duplicate of a page that's already on your site that has the same styling. But you want to remove all the menu options so that the only thing that somebody can do on your email sign up page is sign up for the email. That is the most ideal. If you have other like menu navigation, all that kind of stuff, it's just distracting and your conversions will go down. Conversions meaning how many people actually drop their email in in the
Okay,
email box.
so if I get this right, like I will be sharing on Instagram, I'll share a link that will direct someone directly to that page.
Yep.
And they'll sign up on this email that's somehow linked to Flowdesk, MailChimp, and that's going to automatically send them a link to the Canva thing.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So when somebody puts their email in that page that's on your site,
Mhm.
they will be automatically through MailChimp or Flowdesk be sent the email that you have crafted together, that you've
Okay.
crafted already to their email.
Okay, so that's going to be set up in Flowdesk or MailChimp as like a welcome message that goes out to anybody that signs up, or
You can set up different,
Set up a link to, and when
Okay.
they put in their email, it'll just download automatically.
I'm just gonna attempt it later, and if I have questions, I'll
Yeah.
share it in the Facebook group.
yes, please do. But I think this is helpful for everyone because
Yeah.
the most ideal setup is that somebody drops their email in your sign up. And then instead of being redirected to the freebie that they just opted in for, they actually have to go into their email and open that freebie and click on the link. Because then that establishes them going into their inbox and clicking on something, an email from you. It helps from a psychological perspective, but it also helps from a spam filtering perspective. If they sign up on your email list and then they're automatically redirected to their freebie,
Mhm.
they're not accessing anything through their email, which is what you want to, that's the relationship you want to establish with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, Natalie's saying to do that in Flowdesk, you create a workflow to send the second email with a freebie. Yeah. So in Flowdesk, it's called a workflow. In MailChimp, it's just going to be it's just going to be called an email. It might be called a sequence or a campaign or something like that, but it's all the same thing. Yeah. So Michelle was asking, we shouldn't put the sign up on our homepage, but a separate page. The benefit of putting it, you should put it everywhere. Definitely put it on your homepage. Put it as a pop-up. Put it as a bar, wherever you want. But it's nice to have it on a separate page for this exact purpose, so that you can link it, and especially linking it in your Instagram profile or stories, etc. And then she's also asking, is it normal for there to be an opt-in email that they have to accept before receiving the second email? Yes, that is. But it's called a double opt-in. And there's big debate in the email marketing world about whether double opt-ins help your spam filter rating or not. And so some providers will have you can choose between a single opt-in and a double opt-in. And so, I mean, this is getting into the weeds. Whatever your provider has is fine. But yeah. Okay, so, and then Natalie is saying you can make an opt-in page that's not on your website. So that's great. Sure. Yeah, and you probably will lose people with a double opt-in, but the idea of a double opt-in is that people opt in twice and they're more invested and you're cutting through more of the spam filters. Now, whether that's totally true or not, I don't really know, and nobody really knows. And some people think so and some people don't think so. I always choose a single opt-in when I can, personally, but that's up to you if you have that choice with your host and your provider. Cool. And then the next step after you have set up your freebie is setting up a follow-up email sequence where you're actually you're continuing the relationship, so that instead of just being like, sign up for my email list, you get this freebie, peace out, see you never, like I'm never talking to you again until I'm trying to sell something, that you have an ongoing relationship with them. And so in the email marketing world, this is called an indoctrination sequence, which I just think is hilarious, but that's really what it is. Like, you're introducing people into your world and your ideology and what it means to be in your world. So since we're all tired, we're not gonna dig into that just yet, but just know that that's on the horizon, and that's something you can start thinking about. So it would be like 3 to 4 emails is what I would recommend. Every 2 or 3 days would be a good place to start. And it could just be a great, it doesn't have to be reinventing the wheel. Anything that you've written for your website, like frequently asked questions or super popular blog posts that you've done or super resonant Instagram posts that you've done in the past, can just be copied and pasted into this email sequence. And basically the idea is that at the end of every 3 or 4 emails, you're making an offer to your email list. And so that's most likely just going to be an invitation to book you for a session. If you're doing sales calls, it could be an invite for a sales call. If you're not currently booking, sales calls are the way to go. So there are sales call scripts in the mastermind course if you want to dig into those, but we can talk about those more later if you guys want to. I'm just sort of painting the bird's eye view picture. Okay, other questions about the email opt-in, but maybe before we move on to projects. A few of you, I didn't hear what your idea was, which is okay if you didn't get to it this week. Behind is an illusion, by the way. If there is something that I'm like, do this week, and you don't, that's okay. There's no reason to be unhappy about that with yourself. Just, it's just a sequence of things that this is, priority 1 is getting your email list set up. Anyone else on the topic of email freebies and things? Okay. If not, we can move on to projects and questions and ideas about projects, or any other images, sessions, feedback that you would like about those types of things.
Question.
Hi, Liz.
Hi. Because I've never done a model call before.
Yeah.
And I asked you guys for advice on the wording, and I think I have the wording.
Cool.
So how do you make it sort of like casual and easy? Like I looked at Natasha's, and I think what she has is a link to her Dubsado, and they just like put everything in there. I mean, do you like let them just Instagram you photos? Like,
Yeah.
can you just be as like wild and just be
Yeah.
like, hey, just draw me some photos and let's
Yes.
chat?
Yes, that's what I do 100% of the time. I've never been as fancy as Natasha with Dipsado. She gets bonus points for sure. Yeah, just DM me photos if you're interested.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I am a little worried that I would lose people if they have to fill out a form. Like, I feel like that's even happened. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, people around here, they just, there's some disconnect, like when it's all fun and casual. And like, I would definitely do a model release, but I think once you have them like sucked in, then of course they'll do that. But I feel like to have them like fill out all their information and this form for some reason around here just feels like it won't fly.
Yeah. Liz, I would challenge you on this a little bit. I think you're overthinking this, and I think you're overthinking it because it's scary to put this out there. I don't think this is a problem of, do I do this form or do I just say, hey, like, respond to me? I think this is a courage problem. Am I right on that?
Yeah, probably. And then it's just a matter of like keeping people, because I actually have somebody who's interested, and then I'm just trying to figure out, totally not overcomplicating it. I think you're totally right.
So what I like to do is I like to save a model call for a day when I'm ready to respond, because you're probably going to get many DMs and probably just like lots of people that are like, just like, I'd be interested, and don't send you any pictures, and you can like click over to their profile and stuff and dig for pictures and that kind of thing. And that's fine. And I always do that. I don't say like, You didn't send me pictures. But just save it for a day when you're able to flow some energy there, and then you'll be able to just talk with them back and forth. The other thing that you guys, I love to do on Instagram to simplify my life and to create a deeper feeling of intimacy is the voice recording feature. So that instead of typing all the crap out in the world that you want to say, that you just hit record and you're just like, hey, thanks so much. I'm going to look through these and get back to you. Really appreciate you reaching out. And that's, yeah, you don't have to make it complicated. So when are you going to put your model call out, Liz?
I wrote it. So I mean, I have what I want. And I realized something that I wanted to put in there that just wanted to make sure is that I really do want to focus on like the pregnant mama and like not have it be like a family shoot. So I was like, oh, I should
Great.
probably specify that because people are probably like, oh yeah, get everybody together, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wrote it up and I think I just have to put it out there really. So yeah.
So
Good job.
that did not answer. When are you going to post it, Liz? Do you guys love me right now?
I could do it tomorrow. I'll do it
Sweet.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it is.
Yay. Hopefully I can charge my phone. Literally, my house has no power.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll see. It's stayed off for about 20 minutes. We've lost power for like days before for some reason.
Oh
I
my
don't know
gosh.
why. When it rains, it's just like weird. So anyway, yeah, sure.
Hey, tomorrow it is. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, and also with stuff like this, it's nice to just notice like patterns of engagement. Like I find that I always get way more responses and engagement like in the beginning to the middle of the week versus the end of the week. So whatever it is for you, just aligning with that is always good. But tomorrow is going to be amazing. All right. Oh, and Kelly put a resource about doing model calls. Cool. Nice. All right. What else about your project or just images? Or if anybody just wants to raise your hand and be like, I don't have anything, but I'll be in the hot seat, that's cool too.
I'll go. I don't know what to
Hi.
prioritize.
Email
Well-
list.
Well, we just moved and my website's a hot mess. I'm still, shooting in the Midwest via my website, and I don't have the time to do that. So I'm meeting with someone tomorrow morning to get that going, just hiring it out, handing it off. So I feel like that has to be done before I like add a freebie to it.
The website?
Yeah.
No, you can just do a landing page, meaning one page that is an email sign up and people don't like, and if you want to make it Hawaii based, that would be fun, but you might not have, you could actually use all your San Diego images to support that.
Mhm.
Did you have an idea as to what you wanted your freebie to be or not quite getting that far?
No. Is that all I missed from last week? Like action wise?
That's the biggest thing. The recordings are there for you in the course if you want to check out the recordings. So I'm not going to be able to like catch people up on missed things in that way. So you can check out recordings if you want. But yeah, let's talk through what some potential ideas for your freebie, Erica. Do you like the idea of making it Hawaii centered?
I guess like that would attract new people. Sorry, he's screaming outside the door. It would attract new people, but I really don't have like much of a Hawaii following yet. So I feel like if I did something like wider spread, that like would be good. I don't know.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the type of stuff that you're wanting to book is like Hawaii outdoor plus in-home, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would choose one of those to start with and make a freebie based on that. In my view, making an in-home freebie would be the easiest first step for you because you already have plenty of imagery to choose from for that. Whereas the Hawaii one, I mean, there's plenty of ideas that you could go with on that, but if it's anything location specific, you're going to need a little bit of time to gather that info, like the top 4, places to do family photos.
Right.
What island are you on again?
Oahu.
Yeah, the top 4, locations to shoot family photos on Oahu. So I would do something related to in-home. So it could be like it could even just be the one thing that you need to prep for your in-home family session. And what would that be? Like the most important thing that you wish clients knew before going into their in-home session.
Yeah.
The other piece of feedback that I was giving most everybody on their freebies is that you're trying to pack too much into the freebie. Like just pick one thing.
Mhm.
So does that feel like a good
Yeah, I just don't know, didn't really know what to prioritize because I really were just in a new exciting place I want to go shoot and I have all this background stuff to take care of.
Totally.
So I'll hand off what I can, but yeah, I'll get brainstorming on that and what I can add to what I'm handing off to have her set up. So
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the website. The website is like your permanent home, but you can make a makeshift tent that people can gather under in the meantime. Don't hesitate about that. Don't worry about that for sure.
Okay.
So I would make your next thing setting up that email list with Flowdesk or MailChimp or whatever, and unless you have a Squarespace site. Michelle figured out the Squarespace.
No, I'm WordPress with Flow theme. So I know they have a decent setup, but it's just implementing it. So
yeah. So Flowdesk or MailChimp would be a good option for you with that. Yeah. So that's what I would focus on first.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Keep us posted on all your yummy Hawaii imagery. That's going to be so fun, Erica. And I would post, if I were you too, I would post almost every day, something, and you might already be doing some version of this, but behind the scenes awesome stuff of your Hawaii life and hey, do you know anybody in the area? We're new here. I'd really just love to get to know more people around here. Please connect me. Do you know anybody who's visiting Oahu and wants family pictures? People love to help. They really do. And if you think about anybody that has posted something like that and somebody that's where they're trying to go, or people do this all the time for trips, I'm headed to Hawaii. What recommendations do you have? People just come out of the woodwork. They love to help. They love to just support in that way. So I would do that several times a week if you can stomach it. Just whatever you're already Instagramming, just add in that little bit of hey, do you know anybody here? I'm new and would love to connect with families in the area.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Who else? Oh, I think we were talking, so Rosie was mentioning forms, so she spent a lot of time on the phone and sales calls initially. Yes, I definitely recommend sales calls initially for booking sessions. For model calls, no. No, you do not need to get on the phone for a model call. That's going to be a waste of your time, I think, unless you are not finding people initially and or you're looking for something super ultra specific and you feel like you really need to call somebody. But I just don't think that's necessary. I think you can let it be easier and just do it the good old-fashioned Instagram way. The other thing that you could do, Liz, if you're worried, or anybody else who wants, and Natasha, I know you're looking for DC moms. I don't know, you might already have plenty who have applied, but if you're ever looking for more people and you don't have enough people just coming from your own platform, then you can always just again, employ people to help. Hey, if you know anybody in the DC area who'd be perfect for this, tag them here, or screenshot this and send it to them. Or Liz, if you know any pregnant mamas in Ojai, send this to them. And then even if you don't end up going with them for the model call, you've connected with them and you can like start, engaging with their posts and that kind of thing. It's really great. Okay. Who else? Hi, Michelle.
Thank you so much for your feedback on the Facebook page. I saw your comment about my 30-day project about maybe like having a model do like the more intimate close-up detail shots, so that I can be the one behind the camera, and then maybe like the further away ones I could do as self-portraits. I guess my question with that is like, would it be inconsistent if it was like the same project, but it was like different, like just two different people? Or I don't know. I'm just trying to
Yeah. So I'm curious, I'm curious what the most important thing to you is. Is the most important thing that it's a self-portrait, or is the most important thing that it embodies this like feeling that you're after? Because I definitely feel like if it's the feeling and exploring that, it's going to be easier not as a self-portrait potentially. But that's why I was asking you, how have you done your self-portraits in the past? Because you have.
Mhm. In the past, I've done a lot of them using a mirror. And
Oh,
when we moved, we kind of like sold a lot of our mirrors because they're kind of a pain.
come on. That's a business write-off.
No, maybe I just need to buy a whole bunch of mirrors.
Go to Target and get the $29 mirror.
So I'd like shoot into the mirror, basically. And like for some of them, I'd,
Oh.
like crop the frame out. And so it's like they're,
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Okay. Got it.
But I've also done it the other way too, like where you put it on a tripod and you kind of get the focus as close as you can, and then just like set the 10-second timer and do it like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
there's more control with the mirror because you can like see better like what is going to be in the image and like how
Yep.
it's going to be cropped. But
Yeah. So what's your initial reaction when I ask like what's the most important thing? Is it more important that it's self-portrait, or is it more important to get these like details and the feelings of it?
I definitely feel like I am going for the feeling of motherhood and like what it feels like, and kind of that like struggle of like entanglement, but like wanting freedom. Or
Mhm.
but I think what could be cool about self-portraits is being able to like tell, I don't know, like maybe have a more personal connection to it, or like feel more empowered to like tell my story. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Decision made then. It's got to be self-portraits, I think.
Okay.
To start. And that's not that you can't continue this same idea or this same project even with models, with a model mom and child or something like that. But so Michelle, as part of your prep, I would spend some significant time researching self-portraiture and how people do self-portraits on film. And like, if there's anybody who does them well in a way that you like, just reaching out and asking them like, hey, have you ever done a post? This is another good thing that I love to do. Ask people like, have you ever done a post or an interview about like how you do your self-portraits? And if they say no, they're most likely going to be like, well, I can just tell you, like, as opposed to just asking, how do you do your self-portraits? Because that is something that bothers me a lot when people ask me questions that I've answered other places. I never want to answer those questions. So if you ask them like, hey, have you ever done a post or like an interview or a guest anything anywhere else? Then they're like, no, but I can tell you. So your assignment, Michelle, this week is to spend some time and just mental energy researching how people do self-portraits on film and sort of get yourself a game plan. I do think a like a studio could potentially be really helpful for you. Were you thinking using a studio?
That's kind of where I was landing as I thought about
Yeah.
it, because I don't know if there's like enough empty space in my house to
Yep.
like create what I'm wanting. So I think that
Yeah.
might be best.
Yes. So the things that you have to work out before your self-portrait project starts is booking the studio, and figuring out the self-portrait thing, but I do think the studio will simplify things a lot, because then you're only having to deal with the tripod and the that the self-portrait side of setup, as opposed to like, and now I have to figure out a whole background and where I'm gonna, like, if I have enough room in this room and that room. And I also find that trying to do self-portraits in my house is
That's
it's just harder for me than at a studio. Like, if I'm at a studio, it's just, I know I'm there and nobody can ring the doorbell and like bother me, you know?
And like, I think another part of the struggle too is I want for some of the self-portraits to have my kids in them. And so I'm just like wondering how that's all gonna go with like it being a self-portrait and like the timer. And but I don't know, maybe it'll just be really messy and it will end up being really artistic and like
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
create that feeling.
So I would definitely bring somebody with you.
Yeah. I'll bring my husband and he can help.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be what helps me too when I'm planning these types of things is like trying to envision like start to finish how it's going to go. Like, okay, I want him to stay for the first like however long, and then I'm going to stay by myself and do like all the really vulnerable stuff that I don't want him to like be watching over my shoulder while I'm doing, or that kind of thing. So just thinking through some of those details will help you get a setup that's going to support you. But also, you guys, with these projects, please don't make the expectation so high. They might not feel like a fantastical success the first go around. Yeah, there was a project that I did a couple years ago that was called Brooks Obscured, where I really wanted to do mothers behind glass. And so I worked with this glass shop. I went to like every glass shop that was local, and I found one amazing stained glass artist who was like, yes, I will loan you these like giant sheets of glass. I packed them into my van very, very carefully, got to the studio, pulled out the first sheet of glass. It shattered. I hadn't even started shooting. Nothing had happened. That was the beginning of that shoot. And so luckily I had 2 other panes of glass that I was able to like bring up to the studio and make work. But the images I was not super jazzed about. And I felt like the whole thing was kind of like a giant failure at the time. And then I revisited those images like a year later, and I was like, what was wrong with me? These are really good. So that's just a little anecdote to tell you that it's not always going to feel successful and magical in the beginning. And even if the images hadn't been good, okay, I learned that working with glass is super challenging. And now I like to do obscuring with stuff like water bottles, like we were doing at the retreat, and not glass itself. Like that. One thing that I learned from that shoot that I have taken with me is that you can use like, what's it called? It's like PVC paper. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like clear. It's basically clear paper, but it's not plastic wrap. And you can put it on a roller, like put it on C-stands and use it as a backdrop. And I sprayed water on it as if it was a window pane, and that worked just as beautifully, if not more, than the glass. So you cannot think your way out of the progress that will come through action and through experimenting and through messing up. Yeah, like vellum paper. Thank you. It was similar to that, but yeah. Okay. Anything else? Michelle, did that help?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's super helpful. And also, by the way, I was super inspired by that project you did. I remember when you posted it, and I like really loved it. So definitely not a failure.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Are we at Natalie or Kelly? I think we've got time for both. Okay, Natalie.
Kelly, I went last week, so sorry.
Okay. All right.
Mine's just gonna be fast, so I think we can probably do both. Can can I change my project? I'm not super pumped about it. And more than that, I've got some other extra stuff going on in my life right now. And so I just need something smaller.
Yes. I love it. You're like asking me for permission. Granted.
Oh, okay.
Tell me what the new project is or the new
I mean,
scope.
I had, sorry, this is my camera is like in a weird place. So, I had been thinking about something that I could do small, but something that I could be excited about, and something that mostly that I could work into my own time schedule. So I need something that's not scheduled with other people. I love flat lays, and I don't know how to do them. I think they're difficult, but I love like the details in a newborn session. And what I had envisioned was I bought some flat lay, some beautiful hand painted flat lay mats, styling mats. And I would love to see people be able to bring like their little heirloom baby dresses. And I'm in the South too. So like we've got a lot of these like silver rattles and, you know, heirloom dresses. And I've mentioned it to a few people and they've kind of been like, yeah, and then just it didn't happen. So I was thinking about like, what if I went to, you know, Goodwill or borrowed some things and just did it myself so that I could do some to show some, so that I like that as an idea of like something that they could have as part of their gallery, or keep, you know, a photo keepsake of all of these special things, and learning how to do flat lays with some newborn things.
Cool. Do it. I love it. Yes.
Okay.
Granted. Done. Your bigger project idea, I do want you to like save that for when you can realistically do it.
Yes.
And totally okay that that's not right now. Again, that's life. So yeah, do the newborn flat lays. I love it.
Okay.
And I'm excited to see how that evolves, because that could be, if you like the idea of collaborating with brands or like local shops or that kind of thing, then that could be a really great application of that.
And if I try it and it's just not that cute, then that's a good thing to learn, I think. So
exactly. Yes. And then also with learning flat lays, maybe you already have resources, but don't be afraid to Google like how to do a flat lay, how to do a flat lay on film, those kinds of things. Stuff will come up. Yeah, beginner's mind. It's powerful. All right. Let's check out this gallery of Natalie's. And I'm going to share the screen. If I can do that, which I can. Okay. Cool. Oh, I'm requesting.
Sorry, I thought I took that off.
That's okay. Is it gonna let me in? Nope. I think you have to approve me real quick. If you're not able to, I can just let you share.
I'm trying to unmute myself. Sorry, I refreshed it, so try again.
Okay.
Still no. Let me see if I can approve it. Do you use PicTime?
I do.
Do you know how to approve a request?
No, I don't. Let me just let me just let you.
Oh yes, I can. Here we go. Got it.
Okay. Nice. Okay, now we're doing this again, right?
Maybe
That's
you have
okay.
to check your email.
Let me just give you sharing permission. So you should have the share screen button on your tab on your toolbar down below now, Natalie.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Got it.
Cool. So now you can share the screen.
Perfect. Okay, there it is. go too fast, just let me know.
Cool. Yeah, I'm loving these. I think Natalie, a bit of a tighter kohl is gonna help you. These are super great. There was just one where her hair was totally in front of her face that I would kohl out personally. Right here. He's looking away and we see a lot of hair and we're totally profile, so any little like belly
Yeah,
is going to show. And like she doesn't have one, but you know,
right.
it's happening
You won't get
anyway.
one when you lean back with a baby on.
Yes, yes. That's why I always tell moms to lean forward too. And I know you couldn't control that in this scenario, but just as an FYI. These are so sweet. So cute. These are really sweet. Yeah, so a couple of these were like heads you see top, so scroll back up. This one on the very left side. You guys can't see my, yes, that one. Where we just see like dad top of head entirely. If you didn't have so many other amazing images in this gallery, yeah, you might want to deliver this one, but I personally would cull it out because of dad's head and brother's covering his face.
Yeah, I wasn't jazzed about this location. Like, I just
Yeah.
didn't feel like almost anything of them sitting on those steps turned out real well.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like you don't have to love
Everything.
every location, and don't be afraid to like put down your camera if you're not super into that location, you know. Yeah, these are great, and I especially love the ones of her like leaning against the A-frame. I think you showed us those at the retreat and we were all like, yes. This one where it was like Sky and Boca.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, so you adjusted, so scroll up just a bit. So like you were having her smell the hair and that kind of thing right there, these two, in the middle and the right. And we're getting like a lot of top of head. So you adjusted that by having her like lean up, but which was great. I'm just hoping that you're noticing like, oh, okay, this is why that wasn't working, like why the smell wasn't working right there, so that you can avoid, you know, that in the future, and just go straight to like the good part. Yeah, these are great. Let me see a little bit more and then we'll. So Natalie, since you're such a like, I feel like you shoot so much, you shoot so many images, and that I think is a really great thing. But I also think it would be a great exercise for you to challenge yourself to maybe do like just 2 or 3 images.
I know. I fall in love with them all, and I feel like I would want them all if they were my photos. So
no, for sure. So I'm not saying blow up your whole shooting process. I'm saying, can you challenge yourself in a shooting scenario at some point to be like, okay, what's my element of family story? What 1 or 2 images am I going to create out of that?
Okay.
I think that would be really powerful. Yeah, those are really sweet. Yeah, you guys, I gotta have you get these to the families. They're gonna love these so much.
This is the only family that I've finished so far. I'm a super slow editor, but they're all on my list.
So great. Yeah, so these ones where the light was like really direct and warm. If you didn't end up loving them, like don't include them, you know? Like I don't know. Okay.
This one here worked better. Like somehow it got softened. Anyway, they look great in black and white, which is
okay.
Further down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is funny. I didn't realize it looks like this is
That
cute.
is funny. So do you find that it's hard for you to pick favorites then, Natalie, or do you feel like, no, I know what my favorites are, I just give them all the other, like everything?
I do to some extent, and then sometimes, yes, definitely do, because I feel like it's just faster for me to edit them both than it is for me to try to decide
Yeah.
which one I like better.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is true, but then it becomes the burden. Oh my gosh, now we have the black and white section. Oh my goodness, there's so many more.
They're just
I love
duplicate.
it. I love it. Oh, this is all of them in black and white now.
Except for this one I did not do in color because it looks crappy in color.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so when you include so many, then it just becomes it becomes their job to sort through and decide between similar images.
Mhm.
And I just don't think that burden should be on a client personally. It
That
should
makes sense.
be it should be on us as photographers to know, like, okay, they look better in this image than another. And if I have to, I'll Photoshop together. But that's not to say that you have to do that. I'm just saying that it's also a matter of like purchasing too. They
Right.
are not going to mediocre images dilute the whole set. And
Yeah, I totally understand that. But my sales come from my albums, which I design for them. So, I mean, I have them go through and pick their favorite must-haves, and then I just include what I think they need to have in their album, and then they usually end up buying, you know, $1,000, $1,400 album on top of their session.
That's great. If this is all working for you, that's fine. You can tell me to shove it. I'm just saying,
No, I
I
know.
think I'm just saying, I think that overall, like you said, you're a super slow editor. It is sometimes hard for you to pick favorites. So I'm just saying, like, do we maybe make some tweaks there for you to, because the other gift that that's going to give you, this is the last thing I'll say. The other gift that that's going to give you is more clarity on what you want to create moving forward. When you're giving so many, and you're like picking through and wondering which ones are my favorite, etc., then it becomes a little more muddy about what you love and what you're drawn to. Whereas,
Mhm.
like, if you're somebody who's only shooting 100 images total and you're culling down to 60 or 50 images, you know what you're looking for, you know what you're drawn to, and then that just positively affects the process. So again, not telling you to blow up your whole process. I'm just saying it might help to just challenge yourself that one baby step of what's my element, what are the one or two images that I'm going to create based on that.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to email you with all the details for delivering your images to the families. Big hugs. Bye.